Making career changes and starting businesses is really like a challenging thing, and it always induces huge feelings of fear. I've started multiple businesses and changed careers several times, and that fear of making those moves has always been there. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the things that I've done to push past those things, and some things that you can implement so you can push past that fear, get that business off the ground, make that career change that you're scared to do. Jim Rohn said in a video, the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. The discipline that we can put towards making those moves, the career moves, starting that business, is going to be painful. It's going to be some stuff we're going to have to do. But ultimately, the pain of regret, of looking back and saying what I didn't do, is ultimately what really, really motivates me to make sure that I can push past that fear. Because, man, it's scary. I'll be honest with you. I went to 2 high schools. My first high school that I went to had all my friends, I was comfortable there. And when I left sophomore year to the other high school where I eventually graduated and spent 3 years, I didn't really do anything. I went in my shell and I didn't play sports really. I just worked and went to school. And looking back at my high school experience, and I look at my yearbook and I don't see nothing under my name. No yearbook, no athletics, no clubs, no nothing. And so I look back with so much regret of what I didn't do, of how I didn't try to make any moves in high school. I just literally was in my shell and I didn't give it my all. That is a pain that I feel to this day, because ultimately, even if I would have took some chances at this age now, I wouldn't have regretted any of those things. I might have failed, but I would have learned something, and I may have moved closer to what I wanted to do eventually. And when I think about how I graduated high school and how I didn't know nothing about myself, I think me sitting in high school not doing nothing besides going to school and going to work helped me. It helped me not know myself. It contributed to my ignorance, which led me to switching my major 4 or 5 times and not knowing what I want out of life, because I had never tried nothing. I had never been out there and faced no challenges and fears. So really, facing fear is one of the most important qualities you can have. First off, before we even get to some tactics, man, let's really kind of break down what fear is. And my easiest way that I would break that down is fear is the anticipation of pain. That could be fear of failing, fear of imposter syndrome, which I feel a lot sometimes. It could be fear of like being broke. It could be fear of the uncertainty. Regardless of what you feel, fear is not going anywhere. But if we can learn how to manage it in a better way, then we can take action regardless of that. In her book, Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert says that fear is like a backseat passenger on our journey, and they're always going to be there no matter what. You can't get them out the car, but you don't have to give them the ability to handle the GPS, meaning they don't have to really steer the car. You can be like, look, man, fear is going to be there. It's nothing I can do about that, but I don't have to let them direct my moves. If you're waiting for fear to completely go away, you're never gonna take action. Now, the number one way that I like to push past fear is detachment. I read a little bit in Buddhist kind of training and philosophy, and it talks about the difference between pain and suffering. And pain is things that are inevitable, getting sick, breaking the arm, experiencing the death of somebody who loves you. These things are gonna happen. You have no choice in these things. These things are going to happen to everybody. Suffering comes by way of that process of how we judge events. It can be stressing over the traffic, saying the stories that we tell in our head that extend far past the event of the pain, or the inconvenience. And so when we talk about fear of like making a career change or starting a business, it really, really helps us to detach from the goal that we want far, far away and to really put our focus on something in the present moment. If we're having fear, a lot of times we're attached to some type of ideal, some goal far, far, far in the past, or some fear of things that are going to happen far away. And what I like to do right now, I just focus on, man, you know what? I'm just going to make one YouTube video and I'm attached to creating that one thing, and everything else, I'm not worried about that right now. So how can we practice detachment of the results of the future? How can we practice detachment of the things that's happened in the past? And that's going to allow you to be like, okay, what do I need to do right now? And in the right now is where we execute to get where we want to be. The second thing that I think we should always do, man, is we should always mitigate risk, man. Now, everybody has different risk tolerances when they're making a career change, when they're starting a business. Although I'm an entrepreneur and I've started many businesses, I'm not really a big fan of people just jumping out the porch and like not having no safety net, to be honest. And my past shows that really I like to slowly build my businesses while I'm working on some for show bread. When I was a counselor at high school, I was really working as much as I can on my craft with video, taking jobs and taking gigs in the evenings, because a lot of the events were 6 to 9, 6 to 10 on the weekends and weddings. So I could still work on my craft, and then I didn't have to worry about losing my for show money. And what this allowed me to do is to reinvest my profits into equipment, into training, into things that I needed to become a better professional. You should not be quitting your job if you do not have the skills and the clientele and the equipment to make something happen. I'm not a big fan of that, but I am a big fan of, setting yourself up, reinvesting. It took me two and a half years of working on my craft before I eventually matched my income in video and was able to leave my job and to go full time as a video producer. Some other things we can do to mitigate risk is kind of like have stuff lined up through networking, man. Like really having some connections with people that know we're going to have some money coming in, know we're going to have that job after we finish that certification. That's another way we can mitigate risk, man. Like having that for sure. Once I get done with my training, once I get done with my skills, I know for sure I have somebody in that department over there who's going to give me some work. The third thing I really recommend to kind of get you past that fear is, man, support and networking is important. You really would love to have a mentor or somebody who's really doing something that you already want to do, so you can look at them and kind of get some confidence. I've been mentoring my young partner Lorenzo since when he was in high school, when I was his high school counselor. And now that I wanted to start this YouTube channel, well, guess what? He already been starting a YouTube channel. He already got like 5,000 subscribers. So the tables have turned, and now I'm asking him questions about his YouTube channel and things like that. And he already knows way more about it. And so just seeing that my young partner, my mentee, who I've been helping him with his video and his quality, knowing that if he could do it, I could do it as well. Also having that support in terms of, people to keep you accountable, people making sure you're doing what you need to do, and people who believe in you is really going to be so, so important to mitigate that fear, because sometimes when we are feeling down, we need that pickup from people who really love us. So start small, realize you're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect, but once you get out there, you're going to get feedback, you're going to get lessons, and ultimately that is going to lead to more wins, and it's going to, really work out for you if you don't give up. All right, y'all, man, that's it for this video, man. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all facing fear. Don't forget to like that, push that like button, and subscribe. Y'all be out on the lookout for the next video. We'll see y'all next time. And drop a comment and let me know how you face fear, or maybe some tips that you like to do to kind of get past your fear. All right, y'all. Peace.